Hey guys, what is going on? This is Marcus, and we are back for some more VGC 16 battles. Still using the same team. Clefairy and friends is what I like to call them. Yeah, barely reached a rating of above 1700 in the last episode, so maybe we can climb a little bit higher. I was not as invested in Battle Sport at all with all the travels I had for nationals and so on, but yeah, instead of preparing a team and so on, I prepared like for commentating, so a little bit different stuff. First opponent of the day, yeah, player from Japan with a rating of 1758, and he is running the exact same 6 Pokemon that Alex used to win UK National Championships. However, actually not the exact same, since he does have a Bronzong over the Cresselia. But yeah, very standard dual primal team. Yeah, Trick Room option, or you can also like go with Tailwind or Thunder Wave as your form of speed control. So yeah, pretty cool team in my opinion, and one of the harder matchups that this team has to face, especially like the Bronzong is the one thing that sticks out here. Yeah, with Cresselia there in place of Bronzong, I think this matchup is definitely positive for my team, since yeah, with Kangaskhan and Xerneas you have a very strong lead. You can, against almost anything, you can just fake out Geomancy, and then you have Clefairy in the back to either go for a follow me to absorb anything like, I don't know, Thunder Waves or whatever, and then you also have like Friend Guards to buff your Xerneas' defenses, and then if they set up Trick Room, you have After You, and yeah, depending on what version it is, I think yeah, Clefairy and Xerneas just do really well against those kind of teams. However, my opponent, yeah, leading here with Salamence and Thundurus, I am actually really happy to see that, because that will probably mean that he does have both his primals in the back. No Bronzong here is, yeah, just really good in my opinion, and yeah, this is a matchup that I think should be positive. So, of course, there is still quite some stuff that can go wrong, and so yeah, we definitely still have to play careful, because of course also like Salamence, Thundurus, Groudon and Kyogre is still a very strong combination. His Groudon is probably trained a little more like special defensive bulky, but yeah, we will find out about that. So first turn, I just want to go make sure that everything is safe and sound, so I will go for the Fake Out on the Thundurus. I'm probably expecting a Protector coming out from the Thundurus, but it doesn't really matter too much. I mean, Salamence can go for Tailwind or Double Edge into the Xerneas, but I don't know, just making sure that there is no Taunt or no Thunder Wave coming out from the Thundurus just yet is just too vulnerable to, yeah, to not go for that. So in fact, he did not go for the Protect at all. So we will break a potential Focus Sash, however, going by that damage. Second hit was a critical hit. Yeah, this should... nah, it's tough to say. Either way, his Salamence goes for the Hyper Voice right there, and we will be able to get up Geomancy. So right now what we can do is protect Xerneas, switch into Clefairy, next turn follow me Dazzling Gleam, and there is not too much he can do about that. However, of course, he can predict that and go for something like a Double Edge into my Kangaskhan as well as the Thunderbolt. And depending on how much attack EVs he has on Salamence and how much special attack he has on his Thundurus, that can do a lot of damage. However, I want to try and flowchart this just to see how it goes, as my opponent is actually withdrawing the Salamence, interestingly enough. Also a Taunt coming into the Kangaskhan slot can be really problematic, but whoops, looked like my opponent made a pretty good adjustment here by bringing the Bronzong in the back, which is not something that is seen too often, but I think is a very strong technique to, yeah, bring your Bronzong, and yeah, nice play by my opponent here, going for the Taunt here, knowing that Clefairy is what is likely to switch in there. So yeah, very great turn here for my opponent. So yeah, what I was going on about is that the fact that sometimes it is, in my opinion, better to not bring the Kyogre to those matchups, since yeah, with Bronzong and Groudon you have such a strong duo. Set up Trick Room, Gravity, Precipice Blades, and there is not too much that some of those Xerneas Groudon teams can do. So I really like this adjustment here by my opponent, and yeah, just really strong in my opinion. But I didn't really use dual primals too much, so maybe I am wrong with this. So yeah, we protect the last turn. Of course, it would be nice to keep Clefairy around a little bit more for Friend Guard. but I doubt that my opponent would go for a Thunder Wave here. Actually, he might. But yeah, I think he will most likely try and go to set up Trick Room at some point. So Thunder Waving here, depending on how everything is trained on his team, yeah, we should be able to outspeed the Salamence now in Trick Room. But I guess he will just set up Trick Room here and then bring in the Groudon. So I think a play I could have made was to Moonblast the Bronzong instead of Dazzling Gleaming. So the Thundurus would have been on the field a little bit longer. So then we could have also started another turn of Trick Room, and we could have potentially been able to get rid of Bronzong before it really started doing work, but I don't know, Thundurus is also just really annoying with Thunder Waves and so on, and there was also a chance that he just went for a Gyro Ball, though yeah, in retrospect, I think just Moonblasting the Bronzong was probably the better play here. So now at this point I'm definitely like out of like flow chart or anything, like yeah, this is not something that happens too often, but yeah, it's a situation that I should probably have accounted for. So yeah, Moonblasting the Bronzong, I'll keep that in mind for later on. Also remember the damage, I think his Bronzong is super special defensive bulky, since we are modest max special attack Xerneas. So let's think here for a little bit. I think I want to try and go for Fake Out and Moonblast on this Groudon, because I don't expect it to go for a Protect here. And yeah, let's see how much that does, because if it's not special defensive bulky, then that'll do a lot of damage. So yeah, he tries to go for the Gyro Ball on our Xerneas. I mean, yeah, with that Thunder Wave, that just doesn't do too much damage at all. So it's a little bit of like anti-synergy here, and yep, okay, in fact we were able to do like a ton of damage to that Groudon, so now Sucker Punch will definitely pick up the KO there. So, I mean, depending on his moveset, he could go for something like Hypnosis, like protect his Groudon and Hypnosis with Hypnosis with Kangaskhan to prevent any more Sucker Punches from coming out there. But I still think that I wouldn't be bothered by that too much, so I think I will go for Sucker Punch and Moonblast into the Bronzong. Yeah, he goes for the Protect here, but let's see what his Bronzong does. I think even if he like went for something like Skill Swap to take away our Parental Bond, we should still be able to KO the Groudon regardless. So Gyro Ball actually gets the critical hit here, but still not enough to get the knockout. However, without that critical hit, yeah, things would look even better, I think. So, now my opponent could get the KO here on Xerneas with Gyro Ball, and he could also switch in Salamence for his Groudon to, yeah, so he wouldn't take any damage this turn at all. Something I could do, of course, is switch into Clefairy, but yeah, even with Friend Guard, I think Gyro Ball should be enough to get the KO, and his, yeah. So I will just let Xerneas faint right here. Yeah, he actually does not decide to switch on Groudon, and also does not have Sword Dance or something, so Groudon will just go down, which I am of course perfectly fine with. And yeah, we should see the Gyro Ball coming out, knocking out the Xerneas right here. So yeah, I think without the critical hit, with Friend Guard, we could have been able to take another one of those Gyro Balls, so that would have been cool, but yeah, did not happen. So Xerneas goes down, Trick Room's still in place, so I think at this point, yeah, both Clefairy and Groudon would seem fine, I think. It's just really about like thinking about what could possibly go wrong now. Hypnosis, I'm still a little bit afraid of that coming out, so that is something to keep in mind. Yeah, it's mainly that. So I think I want to... Clefairy doesn't have any offensive moves at all, so I could... I still need to find a way to knock out that Salamence, of course. And yeah, if he gets off some Hyper Voices, I think that could a little bit problematic. Like if he has Hypnosis right now, and Hypnosis is my Groudon, that could be bad. So still not over necessarily, I think. But yeah, Kangaskhan can take another Hyper Voice, and I think at this point, yeah, with the recoil from Double Edge though, it probably, it might. Yeah, it might. It should. Yeah. So I could Double Edge the Bronzor. I don't think Power Up Punch would KO. I'm not entirely sure about this. So I could Double Edge the Bronzor and protect, or I could just Double Edge the Salamence and Eruption. Yeah, I think I'll try to go with that. He actually protects, okay. So maybe going after the Bronzor would have been better here. He goes for the Gyro Ball though, okay. So probably does not have Hypnosis at all. At least that's what it looks like. So yeah, now we are in a 1 versus 3 situation. Yeah. I mean, Trick Room is over, so I think we will just go for Sucker Punch, Protect, and then bring in Clefairy, and then try to take the game from there. And we should be able to do so. Even if he has something like Substitute right now. Yeah, Clefairy can go for Follow Me, and I can go for like Follow Me Eruption, and then the next turn I can go for Follow Me Overheat, and that should definitely be enough to knock out the Salamence. So Hyper Voice comes out. Yeah, I could have Sucker Punched that Bronzor multiple times there. So usually, yeah, people tend to focus a little bit more on the like supportive part of Bronzor, setting up like Gravity as soon as they have the chance, and then like either spread some Hypnosis or do whatever. However, yeah, on those dual Primal teams, I think Skill Swap is also like pretty solid choice. So yeah, both are perfectly fine. So yeah, we will go for the Follow Me just in case he goes for the Double Edge. But I would expect the Hyper Voice to come out, and yep, that is what we are going to see here. However, with Friend Guard, yeah, Groudon can take that relatively well, and yeah, Eruption does enough damage here, I think. However, can we take 2 more with Groudon? We took 60 something damage, so yeah, probably not. 63 and Clefairy. Yeah, I mean, Overheat can of course still miss. I could take this 2-timer actually. And since I'm not entirely sure if... Yeah, basically I don't want to lose to a critical hit right here. Because Eruption would probably not KO, and then he could like get the double knockout with Hyper Voice the next turn, and I don't want to risk going for Eruption here, I think. So I will just double protect right now, I think. And then the next turn we can try an attack, and if Groudon makes it through the turn, then we win regardless of whether Overheat hits or not. So let's see what he goes for. He goes for another Hyper Voice, which is to be expected, of course. Yeah, Helping Hand Eruption should probably KO though. As yeah, if he goes for Double Edge, then he'll take like recoil damage. So I think Helping Hand Eruption, and if it doesn't KO, then we can just double protect for the victory. So I think that is like the safest plan I have here. Yeah, though we will be at very low HP. Let's make sure, calculating the timer, it's 220, then the move comes out, and then we double protect, and then we let run out. Yeah, that should be enough. Should be enough time. So, Helping Hand Eruption it is. And let's hope he doesn't crit us, basically. Yeah, in those situations, of course, Flamethrower would be really nice, but I don't have that, since I just put Overheat on there. I never, yeah, I don't know, like, you never really use that move anyway. No critical hit coming out though, so that Eruption should be enough. And it is, so cool game. Strong team, strong opponent, I would say. Reading the Clefairy switch in with the taunt there Really well played, especially that turn. Yeah, switching in the Bronzong into the Clefairy Xerneas like switch in, and also taunting Clefairy on the switch. That was really good. But yeah, in the end, we were able to take that victory regardless. So yeah, that was a cool game. Happy to get to be able to feature that here on yeah, my channel. So yeah, let's just go for another one. Yeah, I really like how like just Clefairy is putting in so much work against those Trick Room teams. Yeah, my opponent going for the Thunder Wave though on the Xerneas, and then really like taking the option away from himself to go for like a lot of damage with Gyro Ball. A little bit of a questionable choice, but I guess yeah, even if he went for the Gyro Ball that turn, where he was able to not hit the Xerneas when we switched back Clefairy. Yeah, I think I can just prevent him from getting up Trick Room ever with like Kangaskhan and Groudon next to each other, and it would be like really tough for him to play around that, I think, because of course you also don't know. Yeah, actually, yeah, like you know that Salamence is pretty safe there, but Bronzong probably did not carry Protect there. So I don't know, like Groudon being out there, and they could have gone for stuff like Fake Out Eruption, and then yeah, Earth Power his Groudon and just do a lot of damage. Also, the one turn was pretty key, where we were able to get off that Fake Out and Moonblast onto his Groudon, and yeah, put it into Sucker Punch KO range. So yeah, yeah, that was pretty cool, I think. So yeah, pretty clean game, or pretty interesting game, but we're still waiting for an opponent right here. And there it is, from South Korea actually, from Seoul, somewhere, with a Xerneas and Kyogre team. Yeah, that's really nice. If the opponent like has both Restricted Mon at the very top, you already know what is going to happen, or basically like you get a more clear idea here. So we do have both the Kyogre and Xerneas. By the way, I'm not too much of a fan of those teams at all, because I think it doesn't have like too great offensive synergy, and stuff like Ferrothorn, which my opponent also has, is just so difficult to play around. But yeah, we don't have a Ferrothorn, so lucky for my opponent. By the way, I don't know if you can hear that, but like I have my window open and there's like birds outside singing. Maybe I should have closed that prior to recording. Actually, I'll close it after team preview. So Thunder is unfortunately not that amazing here because of the Raichu, and I don't want to be caught in situations where I have to guess what my opponent has, you know. So I think I would just go with the general plan here. Ooh, by the way, there's one cool thing I can do, which is leading Groudon and Xerneas. And this might be a team where this makes sense, but my opponent also has like Smeargle, so maybe not that great. I don't know, we'll just see how it goes, and I will close my windows, so be right back. And here we are, back again, jumping into this amazing battle against South Korean guy. Yeah, Kangaskhan and Xerneas, just such a strong combination. I mean, it was discovered pretty early on that that is something to watch out for, of course. But, yeah, I don't know. I think people were, like, a little bit being like, ooh, like, that's, like, such an easy lead, like, wow, I don't use that, I don't use stuff like that, and, you know, but I think it's actually, like, still has, like, a lot of potential. By the way, also looks my opponent spent a lot of time doing contests, so, yeah, he must be really fashionable. Yeah, let's hope that he forgot to change his movesets and still has, like, something that has, like, I don't know, like, coolness or whatever to get all those ribbons. But, yeah, whatever. So, I think I would just go for a Fake Out on the Smeargle. Hope it's not something like King's Shield. But even then, we should be able to get a Geomancy up pretty convincingly. Tailwind is also something that people go for in these situations quite often. Like, Protect, Smeargle, and Tailwind with Salamence is something you might see here, but I don't know. Like, we are like bulky Xerneas, so if this Smeargle was max speed, then he could outspeed us in Tailwind after a Geomancy, but I don't know if my opponent would want to bank on that to be like his game plan. So some Mega Evolutions happening here and there, and Spiky Shoot coming out from that Smeargle, which is perfectly fine, as long as it doesn't get like a annoying Moody Boost. So we take a little bit of damage here, and Hyper Voice is just coming out from that silence, which is just fine, I guess. So we would Geomancy up, and now I think we are pretty safe to go for Moonblast into the Salmon slot and Double Edge into Smeargle, unless of course there is a bad Moody Boost for us, which would be Speed. Speed could be bad, and Evasiveness of course would also be bad. So let's see, Moody, Accuracy, that is completely fine, and Special Defense drops. So now of course we end up in the situation where it is between White Guard and Follow Me. I think I want to go for the Moonblast though, since I think White Guard is probably a little bit more common. Actually, nothing coming out here from my opponent at all. Moonblast will just take out that Salamence. Okay. And Double Edge will just take out that Smeargle, I guess. As it doesn't. Yeah, thanks to the Intimidate. Looks like my opponent has one of those like really bulky Smeargle, and it goes for the Transform. Okay. So now he also has a Xerneas. Okay, cool. So yeah, I don't know, maybe just going for the double target into that Smeargle would have been better, or... I'm sorry, but that just looks so funny, like... Three of those deers! Oh my dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear lord. That is not good. It looks so funny, I don't know. I think Sucker Punch at -1. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. I think I will switch into Clefairy because I do think it, like, neutral attack Sucker Punch should be a knockout on that Smeargle Xerneas. And then I can also just go for the Dazzling Gleam. He will probably set up Geomancy with his other Xerneas as well. But even then, I don't know. Yeah, we do have Clefairy that really helps us. He goes for the Moonblast here into our Xerneas, but yeah, thanks to the Friend Guard we are able to take that, but the special attack drop. Yeah, that is pretty bad, because now his Xerneas is at like really good health. He wins the speed tie, gets the special attack drop, and now, yeah, also gets up his own Geomancy. Yeah, that would be a time to, like, calculate stuff, because I would want to know whether my Xerneas could take a Dazzling Gleam here from this opponent's Xerneas with Friend Guard and, like, the small slight bulk that I have invested here. Actually, yeah, okay, that is Kyber. Yeah, I was, like, looking for the Japanese name, but that is Korean. So, yeah, that thing coming out from my opponent. We should still be fine. I do think Overheat from ground should be enough to get the knockout on his Xerneas here. So that should be alright. But actually I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it doesn't maybe it doesn't KO. Yeah, maybe it doesn't KO. That would be really bad. So yeah, I don't think we can live Dazzling Gleam at all. So I think I will just protect my Clefairy. Yeah, let's hope this is not Psych Up Kyber, Psych Up thing Kyber, yeah. That would be horrible. That would be really horrible. That would actually be really, really horrible. We could lose to that if that is Psych Up Kyber stuff. Okay, yeah, we do see the Dazzling Gleam. Maybe I should have followed Meat then. I could have followed Meat that away, but let's see what Kyber goes for. And he goes for the Thunder. Okay, okay. Maybe, oh yeah, I was like, I don't know, freaking out already. Okay, so that is no problem whatsoever, because now our Groudon can come in without too many problems here. So we will override Rain with our Desolated Land, which is kind of cool, of course. And then we just need to somehow KO that Xerneas. That is the plan right now. I mean, his Kyogre can only go for like Ice Beam and Thunder at the moment. And Overheat. So he's +2, so basically that is like resisted. Does Overheat KO Xerneas from full? I honestly don't remember. Nah, it shouldn't. I don't think it would. Xerneas is super bulky. So maybe we would need Helping Hand here. So I could go Helping Hand, Overheat, and then Helping Hand Double Edge to knock out the Kyogre. Maybe he protects Xerneas either way. So let's go for Helping Hand Overheat. Let's see how much that does. That should KO. That should easily KO. But he goes for the Protect, which is fine, I think, since I don't think Moonblast can KO us anyway. Unless, of course, he gets the Thunder Para on Clefairy and then also the full Para next turn. Ooh, but that does a lot of damage. Yeah, maybe... It's tough to say. Helping Hand Eruption? Was that the play? Or Follow Me Eruption? Follow Me Eruption? If he goes Gleam Ice Beam, Clefairy goes down. In comes Kang, I can go Fake Out something. And then Sucker Punch something. Yeah, that is not enough. Probably. Maybe. Yeah, actually maybe that could have been better. Follow Me Eruption maybe was the play there. To bring the Xerneas into Sucker Punch KO range potentially. But whatever. So Helping Hand Overheat should still get the knockout as long as it connects. And as long as he does not KO us with Moonblast somehow. Which is what he goes for. On the Clefairy. Which goes down. So let's see. Overheat. Connects! Yes! And... okay. Easily gets the KO. Onto the Xerneas. No challenge at all for Groudon. No problem whatsoever. And the Ice Beam comes in. Oh my gosh, Friend Guard is gone, so that'll do a lot of damage. That was quite a bit. So, yeah, we could still lose this, of course. Since our Kangaskhan would KO itself from Double Edge recoil damage. But of course we are professional YouTubers here, so I will go for the Power Up Punch on myself and also Earth Power. So he protects. Yes! Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So Kangaskhan will have a punch on his body, the Groudon, be like Brawl Fist, and then also get the attack boost, and then we should be able to take this game. Cool, cool. So yeah, a cool second game today, and yeah, probably should have played a little bit more careful against that Smeargle. Like if it didn't go for the transform, but the Dark Warden set, we could have been in quite a bit of trouble. But I don't know what I was thinking there. Either way, in the end, Kangaskhan was able to not only knock out the Kyogre, but also knock out itself in the process, which is quite the accomplishment. And yeah, that'll wrap up this episode of Mark Us Back on Top. Almost 30 minutes. Yeah, 2 pretty long games, and yeah, 2 good games though. So yeah, tell your friends, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed what you saw, leave comments, do whatever. You know better than I. So yeah, see you soon. Have a good day. Have fun watching football later on, and yeah, see you soon. Goodbye. I said goodbye.